What's up, everyone? This is Craft Collects, and welcome to Super Basic Diorama 101. Now, you see, I'm attempting to make this a short and simple video, segmented with a quick overview of how I built a few environment structures to go along with my unboxing videos to spruce up the decor a little bit. If I'm successful, you should be able to get all you need for a super basic diorama. And I can have some extra pieces to make my content stand out just so little. The small things count. So, for scale, most of the figures I'm gonna review, I don't like that word, not review. What's a good word? Most of the figures I'm gonna showcase on this channel are either gonna be 1/12 or masterpiece scale, or somewhere in between that. For today's examples, we have Marvel Legends, Gamerverse, Spider-Man, Miles Morales, and Transform Element, Masterpiece.
Optimus Prime.
Mainly because these were the closest I could grab. On screen are the materials that I'll be using, and you'll see each item as we progress because I forgot to film them individually for this part. Also on screen are the types of terrain I plan on creating. We got dusty roadway and desert plains. Easy, right? So I have some leftover styrofoam from a previous project and thought, why not finish it off with some more diorama ideas? And how do you begin that? I, for myself, start by going on Google and looking up what it is that I want to create, and then save those images in a folder. This way I always have something to reference while detailing the pieces. Next, I begin measuring and scaling the material between the two figures. I'm literally about to eyeball this, but I recommend you use a ruler to get your exact dimensions. Measure twice and cut once, or at least let's pretend I did that for the video. I scored the foam with a hobby knife and then bent it for a clean break. No guarantees it's going to come out as precise, but we can do some quick eyeball scaling with Optimus Prime and then clean up the workstation. Really quick, here is an example of a finished project I previously made for the diorama I housed those Transformers displayed in the background. A little example of what I'm going for. I did a video of that over on my original channel, and oh, how that did so well. Different audience, wrong content, which is more of a reason for me to repurpose some of those over here. Back to the build, I did not forget to make a separate prop for a wall and rooftop dial. These just won't end up being built in this video because I got ahead of myself, and I regret right now not doing them later. It just can become a project for future videos. Now, I don't want too big of display pieces because where am I going to put it for storage? They have to be modular and somewhat scale with the figures I collect. And naturally, I'm using source images and also making up and adding some details as I go. So we have about 4 different ideas for rock formations and stands for a desert region display. Here comes the fun part. So no, I did not use toothpicks or clip set to hold the styrofoam while it dried. But this is a limited use setup. You can if you want to do this long term, and it's best to invest in your workspace. I ended up buying one anyway. Look how stupid your teacher looks. After stacking the foam pieces into layers, I used a glue gun to spread a zigzag adhesive and seal it while it's hot. Then set them to the side to dry for about 10 to 15 minutes. Once you have the shape that you want, or at least the tiers that you want, it's shaving time. Remember, all of this is the fun part. No one can make a perfect fake rock. You just start shaving down the square edges and making them rounder, sorta, kinda. You know, where it's like we're rendering the graphics here. You're gonna scratch, etch, chip, whatever you want to the rock to look like or replicate the picture you're following. And make sure, kids, you're not doing this by yourself. I'm advising this only to, we'll say what the common consensus is, adult collectors. I'm actually capturing the shavings to turn into future debris, so there is almost nothing quoted as garbage here except from the garbage. You figure out which one is which, and then back to cleaning the workstation. Next session is the sealant. Mod Podge is the tool, and there is pretty much no proper method to this. You're just taking the brush and you're covering the surface and trying to get all the nooks and crevices that you made. The styrofoam material absorbs the paint, and you end up adding way more layers and coats than you want to if you don't seal the surface first. So I have my workstation ready for paint application, and this is where we start with the gravel concrete layers. The colors are black, white, and you mix those two, of course, to make gray. You're just painting an uneven surface, whichever way, because remember, nothing natural is symmetrical, I think. Don't quote me on that. It might be close, but then how would it be unique? So, a few fully painted gray rocks later, we move to the larger surfaces and do the same. This is the road for the base diorama, painting the mapped out area for the asphalt and then setting it to dry. Now, surprise, I went ahead of the class. I didn't mean to, but I did some off-screen work because I didn't feel like setting up the camera on that day. The only difference is when the first application of gray mix dried, gray only, I came back in with the black paint and used the chiseled brush to add shadows and darken edges and crevices. After that dries, you take the same clean chisel brush and add the white lighter gray paint and apply it along the edges again. This adds highlights and visible scratches and imperfections. Hopefully these descriptions are understandable or follow along with how I'm applying the paint in the video. I'll actually be quiet for now and you can understand the dry brush technique here. Let me go refill my water. So the process of adding a wash over your paint is commonly used to add the realism in asphalt or concrete. You have a base layer that has to be fully dry before application, but once ready, you're going to dip the brush in a diluted white paint mix and lightly brush that onto the dry surface. Change up the directions occasionally, and then once again, let that dry. So back to the eyeball math, I'm about to measure out tape for the road lines. Nothing special here. You can make the lines as big or small as you want to for your scale lane. apply some masking tape, and get ready to lay down another base coat within the lines created. Alright, not forgetting the second surface on the back, I'm just going to mix and apply my brown, yellow, and white paint to create a clay and tan color. This goes on the whole side of the base layer completely, as well as being added to the roadway scene. And then I can come back in on the dried desert scene and add some depth, some shadows, some imperfections, some scratches on the ground. And lastly, I added some foliage pieces that I'm just sticking with the Mod Podge because it's a colorless application once it's dried. And this is the final result, nothing special, but at least it's a little detailed. I'm no figure arts diorama or Bobby Skullface because I don't have my permanent figure setup available, but these are going to be used in videos and pictures throughout my reviews and Instagram. Follow me on Instagram at CraftCollectsYT. And that is the end of class today. Hope the material was understandable and you learned something. Please rate it in the comment section below how I did, and if you were able to create your own versions. I may make a few more of these in the future. Like I said, I need to have a rooftop diorama, and I can clean up this version and the following versions going forward. Appreciate you clicking on this video. More creativity work coming in the future, and I'll see you in the comment section. Peace.